Mary Blanchard. Is Ms. Blanchard or her attorney present? Okay. Giovanni Gallegos Beltran. No attorney of record. Jose Garcia. Karen Johnson.
Yeah, right.
So you have he's represented by a conflict attorney. Have you spoken to your attorney?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I reached out to Miss Watson Cafe and I received a message back that she is in trial from May 1st to May 8th. So I am not sure if she's appearing. this morning.
Okay, so we may have to reset your case, Mr. Johnson. Hold please, okay?
All right.
Because I do not want you to take a plea without your attorney present. Nicholas Jones, just have a seat for a moment.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Zingo with Mr. Jones. He is here today. We are ready to plead. I'm just doing the paperwork with him right now. I got it yesterday.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Mazinga. Daniel Kalstrom, I'm probably pronouncing that really incorrectly. Is that your client, Mr. Gaither?
That is Mike Rothhoff's client. However, Mr. Rothhoff had an emergency, so I am taking that case over for him today. Is Mr. Danielle present in the courtroom or on Zoom?
He is not.
Okay, maybe.
We'll give you a few moments to reach out. Tommy McCaffey. Derek Mitchell.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell's please stand. He's represented by the Public Defender's Office as
Good
well.
afternoon, Judge. Your Honor, how are you doing this morning? I'm working on my camera. I apologize that it's not on. I'm working on that. Mr. Mitchell is my case. There was an entry of appearance by Ms. Giddings in 2021. I'd just like an opportunity to speak to Mr. Mitchell today. I believe we'll have an announcement for that case.
Okay, because he's here in the courtroom, are you going to be able to?
Give him a call. Yes, Judge. If I can get his phone number.
Mr. Mitchell, if you would approach, just come to this desk and put your phone number onto a slip of paper, please. And we'll have one of our litigation managers today to put your phone number into the chat. Once you've done that, please step into the hallway. So do you have your cell phone on you today?
Yes, but I don't know how to do the video thing. Can't you just?
You don't have to be video, but you can step into the hallway so that Ms. Helen can give you a call, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Isis Pina.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. McLeod. Nice to see you off the screen. How are you? Is your client here?
I'm not sure. No, she's not here.
All right. Would you like to give her a call, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke to her yesterday and she was planning to be here, so I think she may be related.
Okay. Is that your only case, Ms. McLeod?
It is my only case.
Okay, why don't you take a step out now and give her a call and I'll keep calling. Thank you. Marcus Rodriguez.
Morning, Judge Stephen Ward on behalf of Mr. Rodriguez. Your Honor, we've been, prior to today's day, we've been dealing with Ms. Githia. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Ms. Githia. Is Ms. Githia present? No, she's not.
Oh, she told me that Denise Riley is thinking of.
Ms. Riley, yeah, so Ms. Riley's on Zoom. So what we'll probably do is, if you have your cell phone as well,
I do.
what we probably will do is, if you would give us a number that Ms. Riley can give you a call after I do the call of the calendar, she can speak to you to pre-try the case. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's a little interesting with the hybrid calendars, but I think we can still make it work. All right?
Hey, and Your Honor, may I say something to
Sure.
counsel in the courtroom? Please feel free to come up to the table so you can speak in the microphone. Yeah, this.
Or you can sit on the other side
Yes.
because the solicitor is not going to be in person today.
Because the people on Zoom won't be able to
They
hear.
can't hear you. Miss Riley can't hear you that well. So Miss McLeod, you're free to come up as well if you'd like. All right, let's keep going.
Here now, Your Honor.
Oh, she's here. All right. Darren Scott.
That is my case, Judge, and Mr. Scott is, he should be, I see him, he's present via Zoom. Yes, I'm here. Yeah, he's present.
Scott, you gotta turn your camera on or else you're not here, okay?
Yeah, turn your camera on.
You
Mr.
gotta
Scott.
figure that out.
I'm sorry. I want to announce pre-trial in that case, Judge.
Okay. Andrew Strickman.
Morning, Your Honor. Marissa Goldberg on behalf of Mr. Strickman. If you go to negotiate a plea, you just gotta sign up this morning.
Is he here?
Mr. Scott, you can press me.
Excuse me?
Okay, so we'll be prepared to take that.
You can
plea
press your
shortly.
button now,
All right,
Mr. Scott.
thank you.
I-
Teron Williams. Mrs. Scott, please mute yourself. Good morning, Mr. Williams. You're represented by Mr. Gaither, or is it Miss Helen? It's Mr. Raffhoff's case, but,
Who is this?
Mr. Williams, Teron Stewart Williams, position 14.
Mr. Ralph was your attorney?
Yes, sir.
I'll speak with him, Judge.
Okay, so we'll have an announcement shortly. And Chauncey Yarngo. All right, and he's also represented by Mr. Raffoff.
I'll speak with him as well, Judge.
Okay, so we'll be basically holding for announcements. Are we ready to take a plea though on the case of Mr. Jones? Can we do that first?
Yes,
We're
sir.
not here all day. Ms. Riley, are you ready for that one? I know you have some people to speak with, but I'd like to take that plea so they can leave if possible.
Yes, Your Honor, give me just a moment.
Sure. And if Mr. Jones could come forward. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna go ahead and take you, place you under oath for the limited purposes of taking a plea. Reminding you that you have a right to remain silent, but you are just testifying for the limited purposes of taking the plea, okay? So please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, in case 22 CR 006152H, you're charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol that's safe, and going the wrong way on a one-way street with the offense date of April the 8th of 2021. Ms. Riley, whenever you are ready, we're not rushing you. You can proceed just very briefly with the offer as well as the factual basis here.
Thank you, Your Honor. However, I do believe that the charge was amended. I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's been received in the clerk's office yet, but it should be for reckless driving.
Okay. The paperwork does reflect that, the actual plea paperwork, but not my calendar. So that's fine. He's gonna plead to reckless driving today.
Okay. And give me just the state's offer is for reckless driving, count 1, 12 months on probation, a $1,000 fine, 40 hours of community service. And he is to be randomly screened or tested while on probation, no early termination of probation. Count 2 would merge with count 1. And if counsel or Mr. Jones would prefer to stipulate to a factual basis, venue, and ID.
Yes, we will do so.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Mazingo, was that your understanding of the offer as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Jones, you're under oath. I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure that this is a voluntary plea that you're taking today. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No, I'm not.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representations?
Yes, I am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No,
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
no,
And you understand you're not gonna have any other court dates regarding this charge if you take a plea, and you're giving up the right to have the state prove this charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
yes,
And you understand that taking a plea may affect other aspects of your life, for example, immigration or employment or anything of that nature. You understand that?
yes,
All right, as the charge of reckless driving, Mr. Jones, how do you plead?
guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything further, Ms. Riley or Mr. Mazinga?
No, Your Honor, we just ask that you go along with the recommendation of the state.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Sentence will be as recommended by the state and read into the record previously. All right, once you've gotten the documents back from the clerk here, you all are both free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. And he reports to probation.
Today, I think that there should be a form that he'll fill out before he leaves.
Sure.
Just
All
take
right.
a
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
We don't want to see you back here, sir, all right? Don't do that anymore.
Okay. I won't.
All right, take care. All right. Are there other defendants present ready to take a plea?
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Goldberg on position 13 for Mr. Strickman stated she was doing the plea paperwork that was sent yesterday. But if she doesn't have it, it was also sent to the litigation managers. So if that could be printed out for them to fill out.
Okay.
Can she see me?
Yeah.
I do have it, and I'm just waiting. We're gonna sign
Yeah,
that
was,
today.
we were waiting for him, not the paperwork.
Yeah, I have the paperwork with me.
It
Oh,
wasn't the
okay.
paperwork, it was waiting for the defendant themselves.
Oh, understood. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
We're here on the Mary Blanchard case that is going to be a plea this morning.
All right, has the paperwork already been completed?
No, if I got an email, I did not see it in my inbox. It could be my email having an issue. I'm not saying people didn't send things.
Okay. Ms. Riley's here on Zoom. Miss Riley, I'm sorry, you are Ms.
I'm Ms.
Hoffman?
Hoffman.
Ms. Hoffman, Ms. Riley, Ms. Hoffman is asking that paperwork be resubmitted for Ms. Blanchard if possible.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And perhaps we
Your
can.
Honor, I'm not going to have a way to print it.
We'll print it, we'll print it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And once your client prints, reviews and signs, we can go ahead and take that plea.
All right. thank
All
you.
right, Ms. McLeod, is your client ready to take her plea?
It's not going to be a plea, Your Honor.
It's not on a final plea calendar. Ms. McLeod, please come forward.
The prosecutor had offered my client diversion and she
Okay,
accepted the diversion.
okay, that's okay. I thought that was the announcement I was expecting. Okay, so she needs to be, Ms. Riley, are you here? Your client was,
Position 10, Your Honor.
position 10. So she needs to be reset, I'm assuming, to a status. Is that what happens from here to those?
Yes,
Your Honor, if I could have a moment to do the paperwork for diversion, they need to sign. And it's better to just go ahead and have them do it while they're there today.
Okay, rather than resetting to a status, that's fine. All right, so Ms. McLeod, if you and your client will just pause for a moment, and once you've signed, you're free to go, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
And Your Honor, position 11, Marcus Rodriguez. I have the attorney listed as George Stein. That is where the offer was sent. But I believe it is a representative this morning. I
Yes,
didn't catch his name.
George Stein is my law partner.
Okay,
Stephen Ward, WARD.
okay. Attorney
he's-
Ward,
he's gonna step into the hall to give you a call. I was trying to take as many pleas as we could before we started the pre-trial process.
yes,
But
Your Honor, I just wanted to let him know that nothing has changed from his negotiations with Ms. Giviea. It's the same recommendation.
All right, I'd like to have a word with you, just see if did you get all the reports from the doctors? And did you review those?
No, I don't have those, but Ms. Giviea didn't change the recommendation based on, I guess, whatever conversations you all had. But we can certainly still speak.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Your
So
Honor.
it doesn't look like we can take any more pleas for a moment.
No, if I could
We'll
work
take
on
it.
the-
Right, we'll take a brief pause so Ms. Riley can give Mr. Ward a call and speak with the other people who may wish to speak with her. And we'll also be on hold for the paperwork for Ms.
All right.
Blanchard.
Thanks.
I just need a number for Mr. Ward, if you want to give that to Ms. Franklin.
Who's Ms. Franklin?
I'm sorry, Franklin Redden.
It's okay.
All right, we will be on a very brief recess.
Thank you.
And then I'll step out.
Mr. Williams, from my understanding that Mr. Rothoff has started negotiations and at least let me say discussions with the state that needs to be continued or completed. So this case is not ready to be disposed of as a plea today. So I asked that this case gets placed on the trial calendar. Now, it may resolve prior to that. I mean, I don't have a file. I don't know anything about his case. And listening to the facts of it, I don't know if that can be resolved today unless the state tells me I'm wrong.
Ms. Riley's not here, so we'll wait for her to get back. So I'm just assuming that both cases you're gonna be asking.
It's the same, but
You're asking for continuances of both Mr.
or at least get placed on a trial calendar, not even a continuance, just at least get placed on a trial calendar. But if it with the mindset that it probably still could end up in a plea.
Okay.
And but for Mr. Williams, I want to make a special request. He actually lives in Florida and has been traveling back and forth. So if this case does end up in a plea, can he enter a plea in absentia or at least do it via Zoom so he won't have to keep incurring expenses and traveling here?
Well, Mr. Gaither, if we put him on a trial calendar, I don't think if it goes to trial, he'll end up.
What was that? Understood. So this is what I was saying. So even if it goes on a trial calendar, and then it ends up being a plea, and let's just say we don't put it on a special
Right,
day.
what I'm saying is maybe at this point, it's more appropriate to leave him on the plea calendar if you're asking for him to come via.
Okay, sure.
And then if it turns into him, him wanting to come in and have a full trial, then he would have to come back.
And I did explain that to him, and thank you, Judge. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Riley, do you have any, I know you just came on, I saw you light up. Do you have any objections to us resetting Mr. Williams' case to another final plea calendar in light of the fact that he lives in Florida as opposed to I guess it would have been a jury trial calendar, but any objection to a final plea calendar?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're gonna put you, Mr. Williams, on the June 7th final plea at 9 a.m. You can appear on that calendar via Zoom. If you speak to your attorney and if your case ends up having to go to trial, you will have to travel back to Atlanta, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're free to go. Make sure you keep your address current and stay in contact with your attorney, okay? All right.
Excuse me, Judge. Excuse me,
Yeah.
ma'am. And Ms. Riley, I have on my calendar
Wait,
today.
stop speaking for a second. Who are you, sir? Please identify yourself.
My name is Sequan Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, you don't appear on this calendar.
Yeah, I have on my calendar, on my personal calendar for my last court date for May 3rd. So I just wanted to join in. I didn't want to pretty much just sit here and not,
Your Honor, I believe he's this afternoon at 1:30.
Okay, you're on the 1:30 calendar, sir.
Oh, okay. I have
So
9
log
a.m.
back on this afternoon, okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Your Honor, for Andrew Strickland, we're signed up.
Oh, 1 second. 1 second. What'd you say?
I was saying before you all out, he's supposed to be here in person, not here.
Yeah,
It's too late now. He's off.
he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's on the status though, so I'm assuming nothing's gonna happen anyway, just to be honest. Thank you. Was that his first time showing?
Your Honor, he has a new attorney. His other attorney withdrew, so I'm not sure what his.
What's happening? Okay,
And I believe his attorney also filed a conflict for today. So I'm not even sure if she's appearing this afternoon.
I love this. Okay, we'll see what happens at 1:30. I'm sorry, the announcement, please, someone was speaking. Who was speaking?
Number 15, Judge.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, counsel. My bad.
I'm sorry, finish, hold on 1 second. Finish, Mr. Gaither. You gave me your Mr. Williams announcement, your Mr. Yarngo announcement.
It's going to be the same announcement, but he lives here in Georgia, so it's travel is not a problem for him. But I still would like to just have his case further notice or continue simply because of the ongoing discussions between Mr. Rothoff and the state that I'm not prepared to finish out.
Is Mr. Yarngo here?
He's standing up.
Okay, so Mr. Yarngo, we're gonna reset your case as well to that same 9 o'clock final plea. Keep your address current and reach out to Mr. Rothoff after this calendar concludes, okay? All right. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, your announcement.
Yes, Your Honor. For Mr. Andrew Strickman, we're signed up to run Berkeley.
I'm sorry, Mr. Strickland, I couldn't hear you. You said what?
Andrew Strickman is signed up and ready Berkeley.
Oh, you're ready? All right, you can come forward. We'll take that one.
And Your Honor, we'd be asking for a certificate of first conviction.
Okay. Ms. Riley, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a one-woman show today?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Strickman, in case, I'm sorry, the charges changed, the charges changed.
No,
Okay.
the charges have not changed.
Charges have not changed. All right, Mr. Strickman, in case 22 CR 00627 you're charged with DUI less safe and failure to use your turn signal with the offense date of March the 26th of 2021. Please raise your right hand. I'm going to place you under oath for the limited purposes of taking a plea. You swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. Ms. Riley, if I could have the offer, please.
Yes, Your Honor. For count one, it is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance on probation, a $700 fine, alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that is recommended in a risk reduction course. Count two would merge with count one.
All right. And are you Ms. Goldberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Goldberg, was that your understanding of the offer?
It is, Your Honor.
And do you stipulate to factual basis, ID and venue?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Strickman, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with Ms. Goldberg's representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has your attorney fully explained all the circumstances and facts known to you about this charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand you're not going to have any further court dates by accepting a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're giving up the right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you further understand that you've not been promised anything in exchange for taking a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you fully understand the requirements of what you have to do?
Yes, ma'am.
As to the charges I previously listed, Mr. Strickman, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea, and Ms. Goldberg is asking for that certificate. I don't know that I have one, but I don't have any objection to signing one. Is there anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. A couple of requests, if I may. So Mr. Strickman, a couple of things. If we'd asked if the court would consider either early termination or suspension of probation upon completion of conditions. Mr. Strickman is a small business owner. He travels often for work. He's been very proactive about this. He's completed a lot of conditions already. So we'd ask if the court would consider at least suspending probation upon completion.
I'll allow it to go non-reporting. How about that?
That would be fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Riley or Ms. Goldberg?
No, Your Honor. So do I need to provide a certificate or how do we?
I
get hold
believe
of that?
so. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have one. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
all right. As soon as we sign that, you'll be free to go.
Thank you. And does he need to meet with probation?
Just have a seat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. Good morning,
Your Honor. I need to make an announcement for William Wood Gates.
William, last name Y-A-T?
YATES, Your Honor.
Okay, your announcement?
I have found Mr. Yates. He is living in California and I have spoken to him. I didn't realize there was a Zoom potential for this thing. I didn't see that on the announcement. I would have had him zoom in, but I have found him and I have spoken to him. And he wants to get this resolved, but and we're willing to just move to a jury calendar, have him fly out from California, do the whole thing all at once.
Okay, so you're requesting jury trial at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we will place positions. Go ahead, Ms.
I'm
Riley.
sorry, I don't have an attorney listed on the calendar.
All right, counsel, what's your name?
Thomas, I've been his attorney all throughout. I got the notice, so somebody knows about me. But I've been his attorney of record, it's been in Judge Richardson's court previously. And I've been
Okay.
his attorney of record throughout.
All right, perhaps what you can do is give your information, write down just some contact information so we can give it to Ms.
Certainly.
Riley. And then we will reset this case for the notice for jury trial. And hopefully you all can work together to resolve it before then.
Yeah, I hope we do that too. Your Honor, so who do I need to get the information to?
You're just gonna write it here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other announcements?
And Your Honor, I'm
So-
sorry, I'm gonna just take a moment to speak with Mr. Ward.
Okay, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. I did send the paperwork for Ms. Hoffman's client.
Okay, so we'll print that so they can start reviewing and so we can take that plea upon your return.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Carlson?
No.
So we're still holding on position 2. And position 11, is that it?
No, I'm just waiting I just need to ask, Ms. Riley one question about position 1.
Okay,
As soon as she gets a moment, I know she's
thank you.
wrapped up.
Right, she's all on her own today.
I was reviewing some information before I called Mr. Ward, so I can answer your question, Mr.
Oh,
Gates.
sure, no problem. Take your time.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I would just, when you finish reviewing your information with Mr. Ward, can you review the information from Mr.
I'm sorry, the judge went on mute, so that mutes you too, Mr. Gaither.
I'll leave it unmuted. That's unfortunate. Go ahead, Mr. Gaither.
How's it? I was just saying, when you finish with Mr. Ward, can you kindly review Mr. Balding, position 1? I just want to see as the state's offer, is it still the same? Or has it changed or any updates?
No, it is the same. The time served offer. You have that?
For Mr. Darren
Darren
Balding?
Balding,
What is it? I probably don't have that.
12 months to serve 10 days, credit for time served 10 days, balance suspended.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was. Okay.
And did anyone else come in late? No.
Yes, that's.
And your name, sir?
Barney Beltran.
Hold on. Oh, he's position 3.
Ms. Riley,
Yes, Mr.
I needed one more too. My mistake. I knew it was another, when we get a chance, position 12.
Sir, do you have an
Karen's-
attorney?
No.
Okay, and you're appearing. Okay,
Mr. Beltran, Your Honor, it was sent to Ms. Bolton back in January of 23. I can resend it if he doesn't have the plea paperwork, but this has been scheduled for a plea since
okay.
January.
So he's a pro se plea. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And he should have the money to pay today. He was set out so far to have the money paid today.
Do you have the funds to pay today, sir?
They told me it was like 1,000, but they didn't tell me the exact price. I just,
Well, okay, so let's assume that it is. Are you prepared to pay the fee?
yeah.
Okay, that's the real question. All right. Have a seat. We'll find your, Miss Riley, if you would indulge us and forward it again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Appreciate it. Do you have your paperwork with you by any chance, sir? Did you fill it out?
This came in the mail.
Not the notice. Do you have the paperwork about taking the plea today?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, we're gonna print it, give you a chance to read over it thoroughly, and then you'll need to complete it and sign it. We'll take your plea, okay?
I think
All right, thank you.
And Attorney Thomas.
Yes.
For some
Thank you.
reason, Ms. Riley is correct. For some reason, when your case was transferred to Orca, it did not transfer you as being the attorney of record. But I do understand that you received notice, so once you complete that acknowledgement, I'll ensure that your information is attached to this case for this division.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Attorney Manzinga.
I think they left.
Okay.
I think. Did he need to sign something else?
No, it's okay.
Okay, I think I saw them.
I've got his information.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care. All right.
This is what you said.
Yes, fine, good, thank you.
Tina.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He has not. Okay, if I can have his license, please. Thank you. Give me one moment, I'll give you the certificate back in just a second. You say you need to change what?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll change it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I think she.
You got some months. The BDS paper, that she's gonna have to.
This is Miss. All right, are we ready? Ms. Riley, do you need a moment? Can we take a plea? Ms. Riley may still be on the phone. Mhm.
Ms. Goldberg, could you come for a moment, please?
Sure.
Did you complete these two that I have to send the DDS because it's offended? Yes. You already did?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, you need to complete those two. Did someone just enter the courtroom? Your last name, sir?
Sorry.
Your last name?
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Castro, I'll speak with you just a moment.
I apologize, Your Honor. I didn't mean to interrupt. I had messaged ASG Riley about position Mr. Mitchell just to see if we have a resolution or a plea in that offer. That case.
All right, or Ms. Riley has quite a few people to speak to. I'm sure she's getting to it. as soon as-
Understood, Judge.
Ms. McLeod, I'm printing it out for you now. We've received it.
I'm sorry.
I'm printing out the paperwork for you now.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. This one, that was the surrender one.
Yeah.
I was just giving you all the paperwork. Again. I'm gonna try to write it on this one. I'll give them right back to you, okay? I'll bring them to you. Okay.
The data violation. Take that.
The data violation is the offense that you don't have that. Okay, give me a moment. I'll have to, let me finish hers first.
The offense date is July the 19th of 2019.
Now I'll get it. I'll have to fill it out.
Ms. Hoffman,
Yes, Your Honor.
the offense date is July 19th, 2019. You need the offense date?
Yes, I have left the form up here.
July 19th, 2019.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Riley, are you back?
She should be coming back.
She's coming back. I'm assuming you're gonna need a reset, or does your client, I figured.
Judge, if we may, and I'll,
All right,
there she is.
as it pertains to your client, Mr. Ward, you're requesting your reset to a jury trial calendar or another final plea?
We'd like to go to another final plea. Ms. Riley and I are going to do a little bit more of investigation, and we're going to continue to negotiate. And,
All right, do we believe that the June, what was it, the June 7th calendar will give you enough time to do so?
Ms. Riley, do you think June 7th is enough?
It's a position, the position belongs to Mr. Ward number 11, I believe. I don't think Miss Riley can hear us. Miss Riley?
I think she's muted.
I think she's got the Zoom muted. Soon as she comes back.
Oh, there she is.
Miss Riley, can you hear us? Our question was, my intent is to reset this case to the June 7th to allow you all to continue to negotiate. Do you believe that's enough time? I prefer to make it sooner than later.
Yes, Your Honor, June 6th should be, 7th, I'm sorry, should be fine.
All right, so that case will be, so that is, just to verify, that is Marcus Rodriguez, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're gonna reset that case to the 7th of June at 9 a.m. Hopefully that case will be resolved by then, and you're free to go at this time.
And same courtroom,
Yes,
9 a.m.
yes.
Your Honor, my client and I be excused.
Has the paperwork been signed and received?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, then you both are free to go. Take care.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Take care, thank you. All right, Mr. Gaither, I see Mr. Scott is still on Zoom. Have you had the opportunity to speak with him?
Oh, I was actually waiting to speak with, Ms. Riley.
Okay.
Because
so
I needed a confirmation on Mr. Scott's case as well. I gave her position one, but I meant.
Before we do that, Ms. Riley, can we go ahead and take Ms. Blanchard's plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if Ms. Blanchard could come up so we can go forward with that plea.
And while they're moving forward, what I can do, no, come on. Ms. Riley, I can communicate with you via chat. Is that all right?
Okay, sure.
Ms. Riley's being called upon to do quite.
Oh, yeah, she's doing
Quite
it
a
all.
bit of
So
multitasking. You owe her a donut or a Snicker bar of the day, right?
Absolutely.
If I can get her to get here, I'll bring donuts, coffee, and everything.
We're gonna hold you to that, Mr.
I
Gaither,
will,
because
I will.
I am always here, so we're gonna hold you.
Okay, cool, will do.
All right, Miss,
Make sure it's Starbucks.
Got you.
Miss Blanchard, in this case, 21 CR 004088E, you're charged with, let's see, has the charge been amended, Ms. Riley? No.
No, Your Honor.
Wireless safe and unsafe operation of a vehicle or equipment, as well as having defective tires. Please raise your right hand.
Sorry, allergies.
Ooh, you're feeling emotional up there with allergies.
Oh, no, it's allergies.
Okay, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. Ms. Riley, if you put, very briefly, the state's offer onto the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, for count 1, it is DUI less safe, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance on probation, a $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, a risk reduction, alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that is recommended, and attend 1 victim impact panel. Counts 2 and 3 would merge into count 1.
All right. Ms. Hoffman, was that your understanding of the offer?
Yes,
And
Your
do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yes, Your Honor, on both.
All
Yes.
right, Ms. Blanchard, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Sure.
To make sure this is a voluntary plea, all right? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No,
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
yes,
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
no,
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
no,
And you understand by taking a plea, you're giving up your right to any further court dates and to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
yes,
And you understand that taking a plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment or immigration.
yes,
And has your attorney fully explained the requirements? And do you understand those?
yes.
All right, as to the charges I previously listed, Ms. Blanchard, how do you plead?
Wait, guilty, guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Counsel, anything further, either party?
Your Honor, we were just asking for the limited permit
Right.
form to be signed, and she does live in Ackworth, Georgia, so if it's possible to do mail-in call-in.
I think
reporting,
probation does allow that.
that would be very helpful. Thank you,
Yeah, she
Judge.
can report via, what is it?
It would need telephone, but it would need to be written in the order for them to allow.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's what I was meant. And then my last, my last little request or point is if it could please go non-reporting status when she gets all her special
She can go
conditions.
non-reporting once it's completed.
Okay, thank you.
It goes on which form? It doesn't normally go on that cover sheet, not anymore? Okay, that's where I've been writing.
Wherever you can find space.
All right, I believe that concludes this. What should you sign that? Oh, I'll sign that. Once I sign that, that should be it. All right, Ms. Riley, there are several others waiting to speak with you, Ms. Helen and Mr. Gaither. I believe that you want us to get
In a year.
those discussions.
4 months, 120 days.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not sure if Ms. Helen needs to speak with me or about anyone else, but I've been communicating with her via chat.
Okay, do you all have an announcement on that position? Ms.
Your
Helen?
Honor, I just have the offer. I'm trying to relate to Mr. Mitchell right now. He's in the hallway. I do believe we'll have a conclusion to this case in a second here. Judge, give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, did we wait and meet
Section
with
number 3, that's
probation
right.
here this morning, or will they reach out?
If they will, I think you just fill out the form, so make sure you filled out the probation
Okay.
form, and then you're free to go.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
There's position number 2 on the show call calendar just appeared. I don't know why we do all of it.
Position 2,
Yes, sir.
Ms. McFashion, you know the court began at 9, where were you? Stan, you didn't what?
I didn't have a ride.
You got a ride, you just didn't get here on time. What, do you have an attorney?
For one of them years.
For one, no, you have, who is your attorney?
It was a public defender.
Mr. Gaither, are you aware of Ms. McFashion? Does your office represent her?
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Martin.
What position, Judge?
Position 2 and 3 on our show calls.
Oh, on the show calls calendar.
Yes.
No, Judge.
And you know, you may have missed court entirely. We're almost done. So it's very risky to come late.
I'm not familiar with anyone, but let's do this.
Will you speak to her and see if she qualifies?
Yes, I will. I will.
And if she does, I'll look for an announcement. If not, we'll let her hear the state's. If she's made it this far, though, there should be something else. Is this her first appearance? Should not be if it's show cause.
I was gonna ask the court that procedurally, can somebody tell me, is this her first court date
It
or?
should not have been. She
Because
may
she,
have
yeah,
Give me a moment, I'll check. She
Sure.
may have FTA before. Did you appear before, Ms. McFashion?
For the one for 2016, yes, I've been in court several times for that. The one from December of last year, my first time coming to court should have been last month, but I missed court last.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm showing there was a failure to appear on both positions 2 and 3 on April 5th
Okay.
before the Orca.
And I understand, Ms. Rowland, there may not be anything as it pertains to position 3. The state doesn't have a position as it pertains to position 2 in light of the age of that case.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying she failed to appear.
No,
Both-
I know, I get that part. I'm asking you to look at position 2 to see if the state has a different resolution for that case in light of its age. I didn't ask for position 3. I understand that charge is different.
Your Honor, because of the hit and run, no, we would not have a different position. I mean,
Okay,
different resolution.
it's just quite old. All right.
Understood.
On April 5th, what was that, what was the nature of that hearing?
It was a status calendar.
Usually what happens is Orca status, then show cause for people
Right.
who FTA. So she didn't appear at the last one. Why
Okay.
don't we still qualify her now, Mr. Gaither and see?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll
And Your Honor, I did send the paperwork for Mr. Beltran Gallegos.
Okay.
position
Thank you.
3.
I was just about to ask if that was ready. Mr. Beltran, if you come forward in a moment, we're gonna let you review that paperwork to see if you can sign it, so we can take your plea today. You need to review it thoroughly, understanding that you have a right to an attorney, but you're appearing and representing yourself today, okay? And Mr. Gaither, just to be clear, you did not need to speak to Mr. Scott? Or you do?
No, I do. As a matter of fact, I am just sent Ms. Riley my question in the chat right now.
Okay,
So while she's looking at both of the, my chat messages, I just spoke with Ms. McFashion on positions 2 and 3.
okay.
I will represent her. And I was just asking what was the nature of the hearing because you all said her court date was April the 5th. My shoulder surgery was April the 3rd. So that's why I was just trying to see
Oh,
what was the nature of the hearing. That's why I wasn't here. So, but I will represent her on both. So,
we're gonna reset, I'm assuming, to another show cause or status.
but I guess we can go to status now.
That's fine. All right, I'm assuming that neither, you've done nothing because this is your
I've done nothing.
first
Judge.
try. And it wouldn't be fair, I don't believe, to go forward with the plea. And I just have to ask, Ms. Riley, is there already a plea offer for Ms. McFashion's case? I doubt it very seriously, but I'd like to know if there is one.
Yes, I do have offers for both positions.
All right, if you put those onto the record.
Yes, Your Honor. For position number 2, count 1 would merge with count 2. Count 2 is 12 months on probation, $500 fine, and restitution, which would be consecutive. The probation would be consecutive to position 3.
Let me ask this with the restitution. Is there a civil action in place already? Because if so, the restitution, you can't collect that. If there's let me ask this, my question. Have you been sued?
She's trying to collect restitution, but her deductible is $500.
Let me ask, has the other person filed an insurance claim against your insurance?
Seen that way.
Oh, Miss Watson Cafe, we see you online. I just reset your client to another final plea calendar. Are you saying that you don't want to go to that final plea? You rather go to you can respond in the chat too. You're saying instead of going to final plea, Miss Watson Cafe, you would rather go to the jury trial calendar? I don't know that she can hear me. I may have said that.
I can hear you, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, so yeah, your client was here. We were told that
Okay.
you had a conflict, so we just
Yeah.
reset him to the next final plea. So you would rather go to jury trial at this point?
No, I just haven't had an opportunity. I was supposed to be in trial, but it ended early yesterday. I just haven't had an opportunity to convey the plea, so I just wanted to preserve his rights. So that's fine, and I can convey the plea to him and.
Okay,
And,
so yes, he's reset and he's aware of his court date, so maybe just reach out to him. It's gonna be June the 7th at 9.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, take care. Have a good day.
You too.
With Miss McFashion, I can confirm whether there's been a civil, because I'm writing down.
What it sounds like is this case needs some more discussion and development.
Yeah, I'm writing it down so I
We're
can.
gonna reset Miss McFashion. Miss McFashion, you need to make sure that you have a right to be here on time on June the 7th. You're gonna have to come back, okay? And you're gonna speak to your attorney ahead of time, and you're gonna see if we all can resolve this. We're gonna reset Miss McFashion to the Orca status calendar on June the 7th, where we're gonna do some more investigation regarding the restitution and other aspects of her case. Okay?
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
You need a status calendar, that's May 31st on June.
I was gonna give them more. Oh, yeah. Is there a June status? We don't have one yet.
If
I was
you
trying to
give me
give
a
them more
moment, if you
time.
need more time. give me a moment.
Yeah, I need a little bit more time. Yeah, this.
Give me a moment.
Okay, you're right. I see motions and statuses on the 31st. And we realize status will be in the afternoon. Which is.
Okay, so that's is that
That's
the new way to move forward? Okay.
Mhm. Which is, okay.
Aren't there typically just as,
I can give her a June 7th status.
You can at 1:30?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so at 1:30, Ms. McFashion, you'll have additional time. It's gonna be in the afternoon, okay? You're gonna arrive on June 7th, but you're gonna speak with your attorney before then to see if we can resolve this, okay? And once you've spoken to Mr. Gaither, you're free to go. He will release you, okay? Okay. All right.
procedural question? Are there historically more status calendar cases than final plea?
We'll talk about it after the court.
Okay.
That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Okay.
Miss Blanchard. Miss Blanchard.
I'm sorry.
Your address on the probation paperwork is correct. The address on the license is incorrect. Okay.
Sorry.
No, no worries. I just need
Can't
to
talk
confirm.
I'm not a good multitasker.
I'm sorry, remind me, gentleman that's in the back.
I didn't hear you, Judge.
Miss Redden, who's the gentleman in the back? Who is he?
They got rid of Mitchell.
It's Mitchell.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Call.
Why do I have it work through?
I'm sorry. It's funny now.
Mitchell is still here. We're waiting for my notes of that. I struck through it like we were done, but we're not.
Good morning, Your Honor. I think I have an announcement on position 9, if the court is ready.
Ready? Your announcement, Ms. Helen?
Yes, I've actually spoken to Mr. Mitchell. I don't know if he has come back into the courtroom yet.
He's here. He's
But he
here.
does have an additional case, a companion case. He would like to actually reserve the right to seek private counsel for not only this case, but that additional case as well. And so he's turning down the services of the public defender's office and would like at least another calendar date, Judge, to give him the opportunity to be able to seek and hire that private counsel, Judge. But the current offer in this case has been relayed to Mr. Mitchell.
And he's rejected it.
Yes.
All right, so I believe in order to preserve all his rights, we'll reset him to a jury trial calendar. Our jury trial, do we have any jury trial? It will be further notice. Okay. All right, Mr. Mitchell, your case is gonna be reset to a jury trial calendar. When you're out seeking an attorney, please let them know that that's your request at this time. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll go to a full trial, but they'll know how to address your case from there. We need you to fill out some paperwork and then you're free to go, okay?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, may I ask, do we have the other case number, Ms. Helen?
It's on the calendar, Ms. Riley. It's 23 CR 002621C.
That's
It's
correct,
a
Judge.
companion case. It's in the box to the right.
That's correct.
Okay, it's not on the calendar that I have.
I'll message it to you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I have an earlier version.
I'm sure. But
Okay.
just at once, this is the first time my calendar has some information, so I was happy to give that along.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we're gonna take Mr. Beltran's plea. It's gonna take us a little longer because Mr. Beltran is not represented. So Ms. Riley, if you would indulge us with facts here, I'm gonna go through a longer set of statements and questions. Mr. Beltran, I'm gonna place you under oath today.
Yes.
Understanding that you have the absolute right to remain silent regarding the facts of your case, and anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney, but you're wishing to go forward and take this plea today pro se, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Riley, please put the state's offer onto the record as, oh, you put your hand down, sir. And as well, if you would very briefly give us some facts so that I can make sure that he understands and so stipulates.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer for count 1 is a $500 fine plus surcharges and court costs to be paid in stanter. On count 2, fishing or hunting without a license, it is a $250 fine plus surcharges and court costs to be paid in stanter. And the state would expect the evidence to show, if this proceeded to trial, that on October 31st of 2021, Mr. Beltran Gallegos was in Westview Cemetery, which is private property, and was hunting and also fishing on that land without a license.
All right. Do you agree with those facts?
I know that she said fishing, but I was never fishing. It was just only hunting. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take a plea, you have to agree with the facts as presented by the state. Do you agree with those?
Yeah. I'll just agree.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, if I could perfect the record, It is fishing or hunting without a license.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
The second charge though, Ms. Riley, does say fishing without a trout stamp. Is that one incorrect?
It's 3 charges actually, and the fishing without a trout stamp is being no prost, Your Honor.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So that charge is not
Yeah.
being, okay.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right, thank you. No, I'm glad I clarified that point. All right. Do you agree that this case or this charge, and the events that's described took place in Fulton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And you agree that they have the proper defendant, that being you?
Yes.
And are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that you had the right to an attorney, but you chose to go forward without one?
Yes.
And you understand that today, by taking this plea and paying these fines, you're giving up your right to have the state prove this charge is against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And you are giving up the right to remain silent, and you're giving up the right to present any evidence or witnesses you may have had.
Yes.
And you understand the fines that you have to pay today?
Yes.
And you further understand, let's see, that, did you receive any promises or gifts in exchange for taking the plea today?
No.
And did anyone force you to take a plea?
No.
And you understand that even though I'm likely to accept Ms. Riley's recommendation, I don't have to, and I could impose a greater sentence or a greater set of fines?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. As to the charges of hunting or fishing without a license, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. And where does he need to go to make his payments? He needs to walk.
He's gonna have to have a seat. I have to actually enter the.
Okay, and then he can walk over. Understood. All right, so have a seat. And once we've entered everything in, you'll be able to walk over and make your payment, okay?
Thank you.
Don't do that anymore. We don't want to see you back here, okay?
No, I'm not.
All right. All right, we're still holding for Mr. Scott, Mr. Gaither, and who else are we holding for?
Mr. Calstrom, I have sent my questions to Ms. Rowley in the chat, just waiting for her to respond. Like I said, I know she's a one-person show today.
I told you, you're gonna have to get her something.
Yes, I'm responding right now, Mr. Gaither.
No, take your time. I was just acknowledging that you're a one-person show and that you're doing everything.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So I'll break that down to you. I was looking at the third one. With the guy with no ball. Okay. Thank you. She's in the religion. Mhm. You look and see if I can- She's on it.
Can't hear me. I'm unmuted. So the two remaining cases will be pleased.
Yeah, yes.
Riley, will you send paperwork?
And Ms. Riley, for Mr. Darren Scott, instead of the time served, we would like to kind of plead as a first offender, so I know that'll probably be, 12 months suspended, because the probation has to still, the clock has to tick on the probation on the first offender, isn't that right? Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay. But that'll still be a plea under the first offender, so I just wanted to make sure I told you that before you got the plea paperwork ready.
Understood. However, with a battery family violence offense, the state would object to first offender, but so we can make it non-negotiated.
That's fine.
Okay.
And Ms. Helen, was there an announcement for Ms. Helen's case?
I apologize, Judge. What was that?
Is there an announcement for your case at this point? Do you still expect your client to take a plea? Or I'm sorry, what was the announcement? Who was your case?
I thought Mr. Mitchell was seeking private counsel for both.
Oh,
of
that's
his
right.
cases.
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Yes, he's
Was there
gone.
another case or someone else seeking the services?
That was it. So I think you're free to go, Ms. Helen.
Thank you, Judge. I will be seeing you, I believe, at 1:30 this afternoon. I do have cases on that calendar.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank
See you
you.
then. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, on position number 10, Ms. Pena, I know she did the divorce paperwork, but are we still gonna put her on the status calendar?
Position 10, Ms.
Final.
Pena.
Uh-huh.
She's the one going to diversion.
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor. Usually, even after they sign up.
Yeah, they still need to go.
Status, no.
Yeah. I was trying to think if there was a better place to send her. I guess not.
We can put her on for compliance.
That's fine.
Is May 31st too soon, Ms. Riley?
I'm assuming so. For her to have completed, May 31st is too soon. It's not too soon.
It should not be what I recommended for her to do. She should be able to do relatively quickly.
Okay. So we'll put her there. Investigator, I don't see Mr. Scott on Zoom anymore.
We were on the phone in the hallway, and I told him to log back in. Let me go call him to see if he's having problems.
I apologize, Judge. I came back into the meeting. I know that we only had the final plea calendar. Did we also go over the show cause calendar? I had a show cause calendar for this morning too.
We have one, but I don't believe you had anyone on there. Did you, Miss Ellen?
I didn't. I just wanted to make sure and, okay.
Most of those people did not appear.
Okay, thank you,
So
Judge.
the court will have to decide if those will be reset or bench warrants will issue, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you, Judge. I just want to double check. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Scott said he says it was waiting, so he might be waiting for somebody to let him in.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move forward with the other gentleman. Remind me of who he is again. He's position 7 on our
Yes.
final plea.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Carlson, if you would come forward. I know you don't have any paperwork yet.
That's fine, Judge. I'm used to that too.
We're gonna go ahead and ask him the questions.
Sure.
Do you have to, would you rather speak to him first, Mr. Gaither? Or does he have a full understanding? Okay, Mr. Costin, please raise your right hand. In case 20 CR 002637C, you're charged with DUI, let's say, failure to maintain lane and improper lane change, and speeding, I'm sorry, with the offense date of October the 27th of 2018. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, and do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Ms. Riley, if you put the offer onto the record for me, as well as the very brief, well, we don't need the factual basis, I'm sure, because it's DUI. So if you go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. For count one DUI, let's say it's 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 3 days, the balance on probation, 240 hours of community service, which he has already completed, just needs to show to probation, a $600 fine, alcohol and drug evaluation in any treatment that is recommended, and a risk reduction course, which he has also completed and needs to show to probation.
Was that your understanding of the offer, Mr. Gaither? And do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yes, Judge, we do, for this plea, we do stipulate to factual basis, venue and ID. And we would like to ask, didn't know at what point would you like to hear from me? So I'll just wait for you to.
We want to hear from you now.
Oh, sure. In this case, I wanted to ask, can his probation turn to non-reporting once he finished paying?
Once he's finished all the requirements, he can go non-reporting.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. Please make, he's already under oath, I apologize. All right, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time, Mr. Costrom, that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
And you understand you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt? And you're giving up your right to any further court date regarding these charges?
Yes.
And you understand it could affect employment, immigration, or other aspects of your life?
Yes.
As to the charges I previously listed, Mr. Costrom, how do you plead? Uh-oh. I can't hear you, please.
I guess we were just making sure before he officially said guilty, just wanted to make sure that and I get what you're saying. He didn't hear the entire the plea negotiations.
Okay, so you gotta do 240 hours community service, pay a $600 fine, undergo an alcohol and drug evaluation and any required treatment, and complete the risk reduction course. It's my understanding he's already done the community service and the risk reduction. So he'll just have to do that $600 fine and the ADET. He understands that?
The ADET is by statute. They don't have a choice. I got you. Yeah. Yes, he understands that, Judge.
All right, so as to those charges, Mr. Costrom, how do you plead?
Okay.
All right, I accept your guilty plea. I believe we've resolved everything as it pertains to that case. We'll just have a seat and fill out your, we need you to fill out a couple additional forms and then you'll be free to go.
All right, definitely make sure we show the probation. That's great.
All right. All right, and as it pertains to Mr. Scott's paperwork, has he given you express permission to sign on his behalf, Mr. Gaither?
I did not specifically ask him that, but Mr. Scott, do I have your express permission to sign the paperwork on your behalf?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I forgot to date it. Can I have it back? I'm sorry. All right, can we begin with Mr. Scott? Please, I understand that one may be non-negotiated.
Yes.
Yes,
So-
Your Honor, and I'm finishing up the paperwork right now as.
And I'm also, since it's non-negotiated, I am gonna ask for his history if you have it, Ms. Riley.
Okay, yes, let me just pull that up.
While we're doing that, Mrs. Scott, I'm gonna go ahead and read your case and place you under oath. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mrs. Scott, in 21 CR 0014988E, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of May the 30th of 2020. You have a right to remain silent and you have a right to an attorney. You are appearing by video today, but your attorney is in person with me. Do you understand how I'm conducting this hearing? And do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and place you under oath. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can go ahead and put your hand down. Whenever you are ready, Ms. Riley, I know you're wrapping it up. Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is showing for Mr. Scott, that he actually has 2 cycles on his history of a felony possession of cocaine and driving without a license. That he was dismissed. And the only other offense is this offense, Your Honor. In just a moment, I'll pull up the report. The state expects the evidence to show, if this proceeded to trial, that on May 30th of 2020, Mr. Scott did strike the victim in the face, which caused a cut on her face in Fulton County at 1258 Virginia Avenue, Miss Camille Carmichael or Carmel.
Okay.
And the state had offered in this case 12 months to serve 9 days, credit for time served 9 days. We had offered balance suspended. However, Mr. Scott would like to elect to use his first offender, in which the state objects to. But it would have to be a probated sentence if the court is inclined to allow him to use his first offender.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Ms. Riley, if you would again tell me the recommendation, I
Yes.
got most of it.
Yes, Your Honor. It was 12 months to serve 9 days, credit for time served 9 days, and the state would have suspended the balance upon no further contact with Camille Carmichael.
Okay. And Mr. Gaither, if you proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. The defense would expect the evidence to show that on May the 30th, 2020, Mr. Darren Scott is a resident of New Jersey and has always been a resident of New Jersey and was here visiting. He was here visiting with the young lady, Miss Camille Scott. They got into an argument. They were outside of the Boogaloo nightclub right on Ponce, and they did get into an argument over the rental car. She wanted to turn the car in late. He's like, look, this car is in my name. We need to get this in. That's how the argument started. The crux of the matter is that Mr. Scott denies that this incident happened the way it is written. He's always maintained with me that he did not punch her in the face. He didn't even strike her. However, she did get a cut on her face, but he says that was from her. She cut her own self holding a cell phone.
Okay.
However, it did come from the altar. They did have an argument. So.
Is this right for a plea then? It sounds like.
Oh, yeah. No. It's right for a plea because he understands that, you know, the state's going to take that position. He will acknowledge that there was an altercation. They did push. I mean, there was some words exchanged, and she did get cut as a result of the altercation. So what's the point in fighting that? He's in New Jersey. That's why he wants to plead under first offender.
And what's the recommendation? You're asking him to be on probation for a period of time?
Well, I understand that under first offender, the probation just has to keep the clock has to tick, so I'm asking that the probation just be non-reporting. Because he hasn't even seen Ms. Carmichael since the incident. Now, it's been, well, we're going on 3 years.
Okay, I'll allow him to use the first offender noting the state's objection, so he'll be on a non-reporting probation following this, all right?
Thank you, Judge.
You need to further explain that to him?
No, I explained it to him and he understands.
Yes, I
understand, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure this is a voluntary plea, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes.
I apologize, Mr. Gaither, do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yes, for the purpose of this plea, Judge, we do. We stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue.
All right. Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea, Mr. Scott?
No.
Did anyone force you to take a plea?
No.
And you understand you're giving up your right to present any defenses you may have had to this charge that may have resulted in a dismissal?
Yes.
And you further understand you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And you understand you cannot have any contact with the victim in this case?
Yes.
All right, as to the charge of battery family violence, Mr. Scott, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I accept your guilty plea at this time. Have we addressed all matters as it pertains to Mr. Scott's case?
Everything has been addressed, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, if I could just perfect the record, I noticed a clerical error on my part on the sentencing sheet or the recommendation plea paperwork. I only put one T and his last name should be two T's.
Okay, we'll fix that. I think we
Thank
can
you.
fix that. All right, I know that there's still paperwork outstanding, but other than that, I believe we concluded the final plea and show cause calendar.
And Your Honor, just for clarification for Mr. Scott, he needs to hang around until you release him, correct?
If you're gonna sign on his behalf, I'm not sure that he does.
I guess I would just.
No, I don't think so. He's not here. You're gonna sign the paperwork.
That's
for
right.
him, and you're gonna give the probation information. So I think Mrs. Scott's free to go.
Okay.
All right, do you have contact information for him?
I have his phone number, but you know what, Mr. Scott, I do. Mr. Scott, do me a favor, just type in your address for me in the chat. I may have it, but just in case, just drop your mailing address in the chat for me. And then after you do that, you're free to go.
All right, so once you type all that in, Mrs. Scott, you are free. Ms. Redden, will you please review our calendar for us so that we can conclude?
Once I found out, what did Mr. Gaither decide with, position number 1, Balding?
Oh, yes, what was the announcement for one?
Well, Mr. Baldwin never arrived and I don't,
Okay, so,
I know you had asked what the recommendation was, and Ms. Riley put it.
yeah, I have a recommendation.
I didn't know if
we
you
have
wanted
no
to
Mr.
hear.
Balding.
Let me. I tell you what, let me see, can I make one final just to see where he is?
Well, his calendar's over.
Yeah,
What
it's
we'll do
over,
is
so
I'll
yeah.
allow him to be reset since you spoke to him, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Read that to next.
The final plea, June 7th. Noting the state's objection and request for bench warrant.
Thank you.
All right. What will happen is those who fail to show for show cause will be reset the final plea. I'm gonna debate whether bench warrants will issue and still reset. Can we do that? I think so. We can. I know I did. I confused myself. But what I want to happen is those who had absolutely no contact. Have we spoken, Mr. Gaither, those that you don't represent anyone on the show cause calendar?
No, I don't. And typically, from the way I've been looking at it, our office typically doesn't. It's very rare that we will represent someone on the show cause unless it was previously on the show cause and they disappeared on us.
Okay, understood. All right, we'll discuss that. I'm gonna just think about what we're gonna do there. Okay.
Well, and let me clean that up a little bit.
I know what
And maybe unless someone's at the jail, and then one of our first appearance attorneys spoke to them. But then if it goes, once they bond out, and when they come to court and they disappear, none of the Orca attorneys actually had a chance to speak with them. That's what I'm
I
trying to say.
understood what you meant.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay, this is the Orca final plea calendar. Position number 1, reset final plea June 7th. Position number 2, plea. Position number 3, plea. Position number 4. FTA.
Yeah.
Position number 5, final plea, reset final plea June 7th. Position number 6, plea. Position number 7, plea. Position number 8, FTA. Position number 9, request jury trial. Position number 10, diversion paperwork was completed, reset to May 31st status calendar for compliance. Position number 11, reset final plea June 7th. Position 12, plea. Position 13, plea. Position 14, reset final plea calendar June 7th. That defendant may report via Zoom because he resides in Florida. Position number 15, reset final plea June 7th. This is the Orca show call calendar. Position number 1, FTA. Position number 2, reset status June 7th at 1:30. Position number 3, reset status June 7th at 1:30. Position number 4, FTA. Position number 5, FTA. Position number 6, FTA. Position number 7, request jury trial.
Any comments, changes, correction? All right.
Well, I'm sorry, Ms. Redden, did Mr. Thomas give you his information or is it on his entry?
He did.
Okay.
I will make sure that information is put in Odyssey and send it to you as well.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
All
And,
right. We'll be in recess then till 1:30.
and Your Honor, just one other thing, unless you're gonna be here Friday, I probably will not see you much anymore. I'm not leaving the office, but I've been promoted and I'll be in a different department.
Oh,
Well,
congratulations.
congratulations.
But
Thank
you will,
you.
unfortunately, you will still see me Friday.
Okay.
I'll be here. So we'll celebrate your departure at that time. It's
Okay,
Friday.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take
Okay.
care, everyone. See you
Care.
shortly.
Bye-bye.